Hey Valley Middle, welcome back to another math video. Tonight we're going to be comparing and ordering rational numbers, but before we get started, let's go ahead and take a look at our just for fun question. Who is this and what's her real name? I tell you, my kids used to go gaga over her when they were younger. Alright, tonight officially, our targets. I can compare rational numbers using inequality symbols, and I can order rational numbers from least to greatest and from greatest to least. Let's do this thing. Alright, Madeline won a portion of the lottery jackpot. She can either have 7/16 of the $100,000 or 40% as her prize. Which should she choose? Well, when you're talking about money, you want to make sure you get the most money out of this jackpot. So the easiest way to do that is to take and compare these two by turning them both into decimals. So 7 divided by 16 is going to give you 0.4375. 43% is 0.43. You can clearly see that this one is larger. This one is 43%. This is 43% plus 3/4%. That extra 3/4% would actually be worth $750 on a $100,000 jackpot. Now that's money that she could give to her favorite math teacher. All right. Officially tonight we have just a couple of words: greater than symbols, less than symbols, the equal sign. We call these inequality symbols sometimes. Rational numbers is also a word you need to know. A rational number is any number that you can write as a fraction. So this is a rational number. It is a fraction. 79.79124. I could take and put a bar under this, a fraction bar, put a 0 under each of the digits and put a 1 in front of the whole thing and make it into a fraction, right? That is also a rational number. Anything you can express as a fraction. All right, so to do this, to compare these two, we need to make this fraction into a decimal. This one already is a decimal. So when we compare them, we can see that 0.8 and 0.79. Now, this may be a little bit hard. Some people think, this one's got all these digits, so it's bigger. But remember, you can add as many zeros on here as you want. So when you look at this, you look at the first couple of spaces, you look like 80 cents. You're looking at 80 cents versus 79 cents. Pretty clear to see that the 80 cents is greater. All right, let's take a look at a couple more examples. Here's three quick ones. We have 987,899 versus 987,199. Oh, yes, this one's bigger. 899 versus 199. 7,667,899 versus 7,000,006. Oh, that's not a comma, that's a decimal. This one is only 7,676. So once again, this one is greater than it. It's 7 million versus 7,000. Uh-oh, this is getting a little tricky. Now we have percent and a fraction. Well, let's make that percent. Move it 2 places, the decimal 2 places over, and that 156% becomes 1.56 as a decimal. 1 and 9/16, I could just take that 9 divided by 16, and that's 0.5625, and of course it's really 1.5625. And we can see that this one here is larger. They both have 1.56, but this one's got that extra 0.2 or 0.0025 on there, so this one is greater. Time for you to try 3 quick ones. Go ahead and pause the video and try this. All right, let's see how you did. Well, 65% is bigger than 5/8 because 0.65 is greater than 0.625. This is 65 cents, 62 cents. This one right here, well, this one here, 95,234 is bigger than 952. Did you read that as a decimal or a comma? If you read it as a comma, I'm not even sure how you would read that, but be careful of commas and decimal points. All right, this last one here, make these into decimals to compare them a little bit easier. This one is 0.333333, so it's really 33 cents. This one is 32 cents. This one is bigger. 1/3 is bigger. All right, let's keep rolling. A couple of tips that help me order numbers. Using little lines, like if I'm going to have 3 numbers I have to order, I draw 3 lines at the bottom of the paper, and I know that I need to go from least to greatest in this case. And then also the little circles. Sometimes all you have to do is look at the first 3 digits or the first couple of digits. If all the numbers are the same length, they're all 6-digit numbers and there's no decimals in any of them, you can do it that way. So looking at those first numbers here, we have 119,000, we have 911,000, and 181,000. So I think I have them in the right order, but let me just check. Grab my circle here. 119,217, 181, 911. Least to greatest, least to greatest. Awesome. Sometimes we're given questions where we just have to choose the correct answer from a list of multiple choice items. So let's take a quick peek here. Again, now we're going from greatest to least. So let's see if we can find this. This is 55,000, 54,000, 56. Nope, that doesn't work. Here's 45,000, 56,000, 55. Nope, it's got to be this last one. From greatest to least, let's check. 56,123, 55,123, 54,000, 56, 55, 54. This is our correct answer right down here. All right, time for you to try ordering some numbers. Go ahead and put these numbers in order from least to greatest. Go ahead and pause the video. I see 10 people. All right, here we go. From least to greatest, this is 545.545. This is 123,000. This is 231,000. Did you get that right? Did you catch the decimal here? Very good. All right. A couple other tips. Sometimes when there's a whole bunch of decimals and it's kind of hard to figure them out, I take and line them up by the decimal. That way I can kind of see what I have. Remember, these are whole numbers over here on the left side of the decimal, and these are all fractions of a number. All right, well, it's pretty easy to see at this point in time that we're putting it from greatest to least. The greatest number here is 7,866.78. The smallest number is just 86, and the middle number here is 876. But when you first look at them, it's kind of hard to tell that. So again, you can always check too. Looking at this is 7,000, this is 800, this is 86. We are definitely in the right order. All right, time for you to try it. Go ahead and put these rational numbers in order from greatest to least. Pause the video. All right, let's see how you did. Well, make them into decimals. This one's already a decimal. This becomes 0.875. This is just 0.79. So from greatest to least, this would be like 87 cents. This would be 79 cents. This would be 70 cents. That looks pretty good. Most of the time you have to put them back in their original form. The original form for this was 7/8. This was 79%. This one was unchanged, 0.0706. So this is the answer you'd probably be looking for on a test or a quiz. Okay? All right. Another tip, talking about negative numbers sometimes appear, and we can handle this, especially in Minnesota, because we understand that -2 is colder than 0, or it's colder than 1. So let's just think about the thermometer as we put these negative numbers in order. So let's see, what's the greatest number, the biggest number here? Well, if you think of the thermometer, it's not 0, it's actually 1 degree. 1 degree is the warmest of all these temperatures. And then it's 0 degree. As we go down the thermometer, which one is warmer, -2 or -3? Actually, -2 is warmer than -3. -2 is closer to 0. This one is colder. It's more negative. And it's the same thing when you order negative numbers. The farther they are over to the left, the farther they are away from 0 as a negative number, the more negative they are. The smaller they are. It's just the opposite on what I call the light side or the right side of 0. The farther you get away from 0, the larger the value of that number. Okay, one more thing. There's always a yeah but. Tomorrow I'm actually going to introduce this symbol here. This is called the radical symbol or the square root symbol. And what happens is if you put a number inside there like 16, and you use the square root key on your calculator, it'll tell you what number times itself is equal to that number underneath the square root symbol or the radical symbol. So 4 times 4 is 16. Think about 25. That's the square root of that is 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. 9. Well, the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. Now 6, that's a little more challenging. In order to do that, we're going to have to get a calculator out, clear this out, and we're going to take and put in 6, and and we're going to use this square root symbol, and we'll find that it's 2.4494 blah blah blah. This number times itself is equal to 6. All right, so what you will have to do in these cases, if you're ordering them, is just take the first few digits. You can always come back and use your calculator and get the square root and get more digits if you need them. But I usually just take the first 2 digits deep. So I'm looking at money, $2.44. All right, I think you are ready for the ticket to the show. Here you go. Take a quick peek. Put these in order from least to greatest. Compare these using inequality symbols. Go ahead and write that down. And thank you very much for listening. The answer to tonight's trivia question, who is this and what's her real name? Well, Lady Gaga, and I'm sure you caught my little clue there, but her real name is Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta. I did not know that. I always kind of wondered where her name came from, if Gaga has something to do with Germanotta or not. I couldn't find that, but I did find that this is what her real name is. Maybe you can research that and let me know. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great evening. Goodbye.